Hello, everyone. How's it going? Welcome back to another live stream. Right. Let me just do a quick sound test and then we'll get rocking and rolling. Okay, sound's working. Lovely to see you all here. Thank you for coming again. Okay, so, sorry, I'm just going to change one more thing and then we'll get going. All right. So what we're going to do today is basically, I've been going to my email lists and asking you to submit your channels to this so I can roast them. We've had over 1,700 people have applied now, which is amazing. So the thing that's kind of weird is I put all of the replies into AI, and I asked it to pull out what the big problems you guys all think you have is, and everyone thought the same thing. They'd eventually get enough views, and views would turn to cash, and that's not necessarily true. Like, you need more of a system in place. So what I thought I'd show you today is we're going to take some viewers' channels and offers, and we're just going to put them through a really simple system so that they can see where the problem is. So you might have seen me do this before, but let me just share my screen. I'll go put the glasses on because I can't see otherwise. Right. So think of it like this, okay? YouTube is basically a pipe. All you need to do is get viewers, let's just say viewers, not views, sorry, from one end to the next. So once they get through the pipe, they become buyers, right? The problem is we have these little blockages, and there's 10 places that things can get blocked that stop your viewers becoming buyers. Now, a block could be that. Number 3, you're totally screwed, and it's going to stop all the viewers coming through. Or it might look more like this, a bit of a maze where it slows down the amount of viewers coming through because, yeah, your stuff you have's working, but it's maybe not like fully optimum. So the name of the game is working out where your problem is. And for a lot of you, it's not actually views. It's these blockages here, especially if you're like a niche channel, a niche creator. Like, we don't need tens of millions of views. What we need is the right kind of viewers coming through this pipe and not getting any blockage. So we're going to put viewers through this system, and we're just going to look at where are their blockages in their offer, in their channel, and in the thing that links their channel together. All right, so hopefully that makes a lot of sense. We'll get cracking with contestant number 1. So let me just share this so we get it nice and big. Okay, so this is our first channel. His name is Patrick, and he submitted his channel, and he said the problem he has is more views and more leads. So this is what we're going to do. We're going to put him through these 10 steps, and we're going to work out what the blockage is. You'll be able to do this along with me and also think about your own channel whilst I'm doing it. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to start at the offer. We're kind of going to work backwards, right? The thing off of YouTube. And what we want to establish is, does it give a clear promise or a clear result? So let's go on to his offer here straight away. And go to a new tab. Okay, so the result is promising is publish your book in 12 weeks, which to me is a pretty strong offer, right? Like, it's very clear what that offer brings. It also says get your book into real bookshops across the UK and US. It also says we've helped 4,000 authors publish and get stocked, which to me is like, that's pretty impressive, right? So I look at that and think, oh, I know what this is. I know what the promise is. That's all I'm going to look at for now. So when you land on your own sales page, that is what you need to see. So if I say what is his offer, his promise, it's get your book into real bookshops across the UK and US. The next part of this blockage, all we need to do is just look at, is the link to his offer in the description and about us driving people here? So I harp on about this a lot now. Sorry if you've heard me repeat it a million times, but so many people just don't do this. So we're going to look here. Hire us to edit, design, and publish your book in just 12 weeks. So we've got a, let me just zoom in there. We've got this like call to action, right? Which is in line with publish your book in 12 weeks. Now it's actually more. He's setting up more than they do. I'd maybe say, click me to publish your book in 12 weeks, simplify it down. The longer these call to actions are, the more reading, the less likely you are going to get that click. So I look at that and think that's not much of a blockage for your more views and leads. That's going to be driving people there. The next thing we want to look at is how aligned is your channel with the offer? And all that means is the channel solving the same problem as the offer? So a very quick test for you to do this is come on over here, click on videos, and then have a look. So play this along with me. The promise is publish your book in 12 weeks. And then we've got want to write better stories, start here. The simple trite writing trick will make your sentences pop here. Cringeworthy mistakes in writing diverse characters. Why every best-selling book uses these 15 story beats. So the problem I see on your channel is you're teaching them how to write, but your offer is about how to publish a book, which to me are slightly different things. If it was write and publish a book in 12 weeks, it's kind of slightly different, right? The writing bit makes sense, but your main offer is about getting books into bookshops. This is what you're selling. We've helped authors publish. We've helped get them in. This doesn't instantly sell what your channel is. So that's your first blockage as far as I'm concerned. It's a pretty big one because if you're just teaching people to write, you're going to lose out on that connection. And like, if I could simplify YouTube down into a few shapes for you, if you want to make money on YouTube and you want to make sales, if your channel is about notebooks and your lead magnet is about the best 5 ways to use a notebook, and then the offer is about using a notebook, that's how you make money. But right now we've got a disconnect that it's kind of hard to spot for a lot of people. But having said that, the other thing is if we scroll down your page, this might encompass some of the things we've said, right? So it's like how to write and so on. Book design, we write. Okay, so you write, we write, you're the author. Hang on a sec, edit that. Right, so if you're writing for them, don't teach them to write. Me, I'm looking at this thinking your channel needs to be more positioned around this, how to get published, publishing tricks, the secrets to writing a bestseller. So if I was going to say where your blockage is right now, it's there. So then we look at channel strategy. This is the next blockage. So the channel strategy is simply, are you making content that kind of brings people back and grows your channel? YouTube's very brutal, right? What happens is you'll make a video that gets a ton of views, and then another one will drop off a lot. And you're like, why has that happened? It doesn't make any sense. So what we need to do is work out, what was it that brought in the viewers, and then kind of just repeat it over and over again. So if I look at your channel, you are kind of keeping in line with this whole idea of how to write, like how to write freakishly good, how to write better stories, how to write best-selling books, simple writing trips. So the strategies, like everything's in line with each other. The problem you have is less the strategy of the channel, but more the strategy of how it aligns with your offer. So if that was every video about publishing books, it would be better. So it looks like you've got a good understanding of strategy there. So that's not too much of a problem. Your titles are pretty good. They're nice and short. They're intriguing. They are mimicking outliers I've seen all over YouTube. So again, that's not a real problem. Your thumbnails, I don't think we're in the right direction here. So the problem with thumbnails is we're in this transitional period, and we have been for a while. And what's happening is the less designed ones seem to be doing a lot better. Now, if you look at mine, they're almost boring. But what I'm finding is anything that's like glows like this, lots of text, lots of creative stuff, when you're trying to appeal to an avatar or viewer type like yours, who is maybe business owners, like creatives, writers, blog writers, I don't know, whoever it is you're after, just simplify them down a bit and do less, because there's just a lot going on here, right? Fake dialogue versus real dialogue. So what I would suggest for you is, this is what I tell everyone to do. And actually, if you look at your top ones, look how simple these are. Harsh writing advice. Not really much going on there. Weird but effective. Brain. So I think simplify them, but the YouTube split test is really good. And it allows us to work out with every post different text that might appeal, different styles. So what I recommend to you is you make 3 different styles for every video. So let's say this one in the top left here, it's got a white background with some text. Make that one style. Then try another style for the same video that's like this, all creative. And then try maybe another one where you're holding a book. And just keep doing this until you work out, okay, this one in the YouTube split tester keeps winning. This style keeps winning. What I'm going to do is make more of them, because the YouTube split tester allows us to not have to guess anymore. And it should mean that over time, your thumbnails start to become to look more and more similar, not crazy different every time. Because when they start to look more similar and actually work, we don't use thumbnails that don't work. That's when you'll start bringing views back and things will get easier. So I actually think you want to do way less design with yours and keep things very simple. So I'm going to say that's a bit of a bottleneck, but it's not too much. All right, so now what we're going to do is we're going to play a bit of his video and we're going to move on to one of the most important things for your sales from YouTube. The reason why is because we got to make a good first impression and we got to hit audience expectations. So I've loaded this into my screen share. Let's have a look here. Media assets, where are you? Just going to play a bit of an intro. I don't know how much, and then stop it. In fact, let's just play a split second and judge you.
If you've ever felt like your story should work, but something just feels off, you're not broken. Your outline is.
All right. So in terms of first impression, we've got you sitting in your I don't know, office with a bush behind you with some blinds. It wasn't offensive to me, right? So the production quality is nice and high.
If you've ever felt like your story should work, but something just feels off, you're not broken.
The only other thing I would say is the mic's a bit echoey. But otherwise, I do not have a negative first impression of you at all. There's nothing to distract me. So I'm writing that off the list. The next thing we want to look at is what you say in this intro. So I'm going to play the intro, and then I have rewritten it in the way that I think would generate you more views and business. So I'm just going to play this, okay?
If you've ever felt like your story should work, but something just feels off, you're not broken. Your outline is. Thousands of best-selling books and nearly every hit movie follow a surprisingly simple 15-beat structure. And once you understand it, you'll start seeing it everywhere. Today, I'm going to walk you through the Save the Cat beat sheet, the story structure that helped me and thousands of writers finally finish much stronger drafts. We'll break down what each beat actually means.
All right, I'm going to stop it there because it's getting on a little bit. Now, what I've done is, let's get this up on the screen. What I've done is I've written it here. So we can see what your intro is here. And it's far too long. Okay, so we've got this title, why every best-selling book uses these 15 story beats. And the credibility part of the title is missing because you have published or helped 4,000 authors publish and get stocked. That should be in absolutely every intro you make somewhere. And then what happens is you actually speak a bit slow. So I can't play this in YouTube because the software won't share the audio at the same time. But if you play your video on 1.25x speed, that's the speed you should be presenting in, just a tad slower. And your 50-second intro is going to drop down to like 35. But the problem with this is, right, it's too long. It takes, people are going to be going like, come on, hurry up, get to the point. People are going to speed you up. We want to get it down to like this length here. But what I'm going to do now is I'm going to show you how to position an intro so that it appeals to your buyers. All right. So what that means is we know that if you want to make sales, your videos should only really be talking about this because it's super in line with your offer. What we want to do now is position the intro so that it ticks off these things that your buyers care about. So let me read what I've got and I'll explain. So have you ever really enjoyed reading? Oh, and by the way, I changed the name of your title to the story system best-selling books always use, because at the end of the day, people just want to publish their books, right? And they're probably going to want to sell a load of them. So that's what I called the title instead of your one. So it's basically a whole different video I think you should have made, but it would read like this. Okay, so just pay attention to how it pulls in all of the things from your sales page. Have you ever really enjoyed reading a bestseller, but thought this feels so familiar? Well, that's because every best-selling book on the planet uses the same system for writing, as it's been proven to keep readers turning their page to the point they force their friends to buy and read another book. So in this video, I'm going to show you how to use the same story system, which has enabled us to publish over 4,000 books in the last 5 years alone. So that a bit slow, but we've got a bit of a hook. it's not the strongest hook, but a hook you kind of want people going, yeah, I've wondered that, or yeah, that happens to me, or like something that pulls them in. So I'm hoping that people have read a bestseller and thought that. I've never felt that, so it's probably an awful hook. And then we're saying, well, you know, bestsellers will have this system which ticks off the title. And then we say, you're basically going to get so good at writing, people force their friends to buy. This is what they want, right? They want to sell books. That's the whole point of getting them. And then we say, so in this video, I'm going to share to you a story, which has enabled us to publish over 4,000 books. So all we're doing is priming them. We're saying, like, I'm going to help you get this amazing result with my free content. It's the exact thing you want. So that when they click on the link, they go, oh my gosh, I can pay them to help me with this? That's amazing. And that's how you make a channel profitable, right? So in terms of the intro, it's not the worst, but it's a bit of a bottleneck. And what we want to be doing is positioning every video for our buyer. Now, your presenting was pretty good. I just said I'd speed it up. And then we lack the credibility. That's the other bottleneck, because we really want to be dropping in your accolades here, because that's a really impressive thing to me. As someone who's considered writing a book, I was like, do you know what? That instantly hooks me. So we look at your channel and we say, well, is the problem views? All right, we're not getting millions, but actually I do see bigger problems. This alignment, your thumbnails could improve a bit, your intros could improve a bit. But if I was you, that's where I'm spending all my time. All right, so now we're going to move on to our next contestant. This is a great channel. This is Ariel. Hopefully I've pronounced your name right. Listen, I'm going to read out this question. It's quite long, but a lot of people want to sell high ticket like I do, like programs. And I think this is an interesting problem that she's come up to that I think a lot of people do. So I'm going to cover that, and then we're going to look at her channel in a similar way, see how we can fix her problem. So this is the question. Ed, last year, I ran 2 cohorts of my mini music creator, which did very well. I sold one out at 297, and I hold the half spots for 497. But cohort, sorry, I said high ticket earlier, I meant cohort. It's like a program that you launch every 10 weeks or something. But cohort launch models were extremely stressful for me, so I turned it into an evergreen on-demand course. Since then, I'm struggling to sell the course. I made 15 sales of the first week of launch at 497, but since then, I've only made 2 sales in 4 months. I imagine quite a lot of you are probably nodding along going, this happened to me. And we've got the price increase there, right? So I'm trying things like a 30-day email course, lead magnet, ads, and just made another sale today. What a coincidence, but struggling to hit consistent sales. What I find extremely hard to navigate is a creative. All right, so let's just look at that one first. So the first problem, which many of you are going to come up against, is when you sell an evergreen product, you'll launch it, you'll make a ton of sales, and then sales will get harder. And the reason this often happens is because you have warm audience depletion. What that means is your hottest buyers are gone. We need to warm up and get more buyers. So you've done exactly the right thing here in thinking of lead magnets and so on. Now, I would never do a 30-day course as a lead magnet. The problem with the courses in general is people don't do them, and they've paid a lot of money for them. So giving them something free, if we want that lead magnet to work, we really want to get them using it and doing it. And that's why the best lead magnet I've made is an AI bot, which has generated $40,000 just from a link in it and thousands of emails, because it's a thing that people use. So if we're going to make a lead magnet, we don't want to make it tons of work. We want to give them something where they can get a quick win that instantly raises our value with them. So I wouldn't bother with that. Ads is good. But what I would say to you is what we really need to do is look at the simple lead gen system of getting them from your channel and then getting them warmed up as kind of fast as you can. So let me see if I can share another thing with you. It's not that one. Right. So what happens is when you're growing a YouTube channel, you get people who flake your topic. So they'll come in and they go, really interested in producing music like you do. And then a load of them will just tail off and quit the topic. Or they'll be like, you know what? This creator's great. I got what I needed for. I'm not going to come back. And as time goes on, we lose more and more viewers. But the viewers who remain get hotter and hotter. So when you're launching your product, you're hitting these guys, right? Your smallest audience. What we need to do is build you a system where you warm up people really fast here so that they come in and you've got the biggest audience possible. So they're like, this channel's amazing. And then they're introduced to your offer and go, this is a bargain. I'm all in. So the email system that you spoke about is the first step in that. And this is what I would recommend. YouTube, driving them straight to a sales page. YouTube, driving them straight to a lead magnet. something simpler, and then you hit them with emails every day for 10 days or space it out a little bit that slowly introduce them to your offer. And then over time, you optimize that. Because what that'll mean is we can warm a lot of people up here. That's also why consistently posting YouTube videos is quite important when you have an offer, because you'll post, and as long as you talk about your offer in your emails and you promote it and inside your videos, you'll start getting traffic and these guys in. So the best thing that I commend you for is firstly selling out your cohort. It's very stressful, you're right. It isn't easy. I think people see bigger numbers and think yippee, but it's a bigger pain too. It takes up a lot of your life. But yeah, you're optimizing here and you're trying things, and I really like that. We're going to go through your funnel in a second just to see if I can help any more. But that's one thing to think about with organic sales. The next thing, this is an interesting one, and I feel you on this because I've been through it. So you said, what I find extremely hard to navigate as a creative is that I get lots of hate if I go too much into the music business side of thing with my content, but it sells my course and service very well. So it's something I'm struggling with for years. The main advice would be go all in on the content that sells my course. But what about artistic creative businesses? How can artists keep both the art and the business? Is it doable? So look, let's just go look at your channel, right? The short answer is no, but there's probably a workaround. So you're dealing with creatives, and you are going to get hate because some creatives, they just want to be starving artists. And, you know, they don't like the idea of making money with something creative. I had Film Booth, right? So I went through the same thing. If I sold on there, they were like, oh, you should be doing this for free and just love making videos, right? The people watching my channel now are like, go ahead, this is amazing, watching you succeed. It's a very different audience. So what you'll find is if you pivot, you'll end up people supporting you because you're helping them make money, and that hate goes. If you jump between the two, you're going to get the artist who doesn't like that you're trying to make money, and they're going to make this a lot harder. So the short answer is going all in, gets rid of the trolls, will sell you more, gives you more focus. The nastier is you're a creative and an artist. So you're not going to want to do that. So what I would look at is like, well, how can we have the best of both worlds? What if it was positioned in a way that was business-based to that avatar, but I used creativity within the content to satisfy myself? And that's what I would probably do. And I started doing it on this channel, and me and Greg started ramping up the edits and doing fun things again, and the viewers didn't like it, so I got rid of it, right? So I'm back to like bare bones, but I do kind of enjoy it still. So that's what I'd be thinking, is get your creative kick in the content, but package everything for the thing that sells your offer. Because, well, we'll go and look at the block now. So if we look at your offer, I think you've done an amazing job, by the way. We start here. Build a raving fan base, turn your passion for music into full-time income, and take control of your music career. That's a pretty nice promise without a huge audience or having to pay for ads, even if you still have a 9-to-5 job. Okay, so a tiny bit long, but do you know what? It's better than 90% of sales pages I've seen recently. So if we look at that, I'm just going to paste this into our bottle fixing matrix, aka the Google Doc. I would say you have a very clear offer and a very clear promise. I'm not going to go too much deeper down the page. Then we're just going to do the link test. Are you linking to it?
Okay, wait. There's too much idea right now.
Okay, we've got a sample, production skills. We've got a push to one-to-one consulting. Okay, I'm just going to leave that there. What else have we got? All right, there's no link, but that might be because it's not about making money. Best and worst music income streams. All right, let's have a look here. Yep, become a full-time music creator. Okay, so you're doing the right thing in that you're putting the links that are most relevant to the content below the content and not just having the same thing every time because you think you should. So one thing I could suggest to you is if your sales are slowing down and your calendar bookings aren't, during your call with people, at the end, just let them know there's another offer. Just basically sell it to them and say, if you're looking to take this more seriously, I've got this amazing system. If you want, you could turn around and say, oh, if you want it now, just knock the price of the call off. It's up to you. But I'd be looking at upselling after this call, after they're giving you some cash. But your link to offer is good. Channel alignment with offer, we know is a problem because you are dancing between make money and then emotional song. 12 lessons I learned after. So they're still not that out of line. Like that would work in the business niche if the content inside was businessy. So you're nearly in line, but I think you just need to trust yourself, ignore the hate, do your thing, go all in, and eventually the haters will leave when you get all the people loving you for helping them grow their business and change their life. Then you've got your channel strategy. And you know what? You're doing pretty good. Again, it's just about jumping between stuff. That's the problem, which you've already diagnosed. We're going between making music and making money. So we just got to fix that. Titles, good. I can see some YouTube faves here, like best and worst music income streams for music artists in 2025. We've got some case studies. So the titles aren't bad. They're not crazy long. You've got a collab here. You've put the @ in. That's okay. You were probably trying to harness his audience. Thumbnails, you've got a nice style. I think you've moved away from the more over-designed, which is nice. I think you're doing well for thumbnails. It's just a case of, I like this one. It's very simple. It's you with the text. It's like I said earlier, we almost don't need as much design or to do as much work these days. So what else has done well for you recently? This one, very simple, 10K a month, full-time music creator. I don't want royalties. Simple text, makes it very obvious what it's about. I think that's good. Titles, first impression. All right, so I haven't actually downloaded yours. I'm just going to hit. Okay, great. First impression, strong. Cinematic lighting, got this Rembrandt lighting style, which is what you see in the movies a lot of the time. You've got this nice background. It's simple. There's a bit of a nod to a keyboard. Nothing's putting me off when I go, this looks cool, it looks cinematic, looks creative. And your audience as creators, they're going to vibe with that. So I think that's a great job. And then we go to intro. Now, I didn't download the intro. So, or did I? One sec. No, which is annoying because you did a flipping brilliant one. I'll read it out. So I just want to point out this video because firstly, let me just hit this. Oh no, was it gone? It was your channel trailer, but it appears to have vanished. You basically had a channel trailer here that was like an ad, but not. But the intro was brilliant. It was this. I'm going to read it out. I'm a full-time music producer, yet I don't make money from Spotify or any other streaming platforms. Well, actually, I made $43 in royalties so far, and it's been over 3 years. Yay. If you think the royalties are the only way for you to become a full-time music producer, it's completely far from the truth. So why did I choose not to make money from royalties? And how do I make my money instead? Well, this should walk you through it all. So this will walk you through all. Oh, yeah, that was it. And then you go, so there's 3 reasons I decided, and you're in. But let me just see if I can find this video because it was really good. Here we are. It was called How I Make Money as a Spotify Music Producer Without Spotify. So this is like the perfect educational video to promote your product. And I can see you've got your link here. The video's got 9,000 views. This is the perfect video to put as your channel trailer because it will naturally bring in organic sales. But let me just break down what you've done in this intro that's so good. So I'm a full-time music producer. Credibility. That's the result your buyer wants. Yet I don't make music from Spotify. Instantly challenged because I'm like, well, hang on a sec. How's this lady making money if she's not doing streaming? And then you showed your screen and said, actually, I made $43. So what you've done is you've kind of showed people that the thing they thought to be true wasn't, and that actually this is a bad way to make money. So within a sentence, you've raised credibility, you've made me curious, you've challenged what I believe to be true, which is like, that's a very powerful sentence. And then you say it's been over 3 years. So you're making me feel like, oh, this sucks. This is a dumb way. How's she full-time? Like, super curious. And then you say, if you think royalties are the only way for you to become a full-time music producer, it's completely far from the truth. So why did I choose not to make money from royalties? And how do I make my money? Exactly the thing I was wondering. Well, this video is going to walk you through. So your intro, it's one of the best intros I've seen for a long time. So you don't have an intro problem for sure. Your presenting was really good as well. And the credibility thing, just by saying stuff like I'm a full-time music producer, you're hitting that, showing results, sharing your backstory of how you went from where your viewers are, from when you had your viewers problem to where you are now. Really good. So for me, all you need to do really is commit to direction, keep testing as you are, I'd probably get rid of the 30-day email challenge, because if you're sending him this like challenge, some people like challenges, some people just want a quick result. I'd think about that lead magnet, but otherwise, I think you've got a bright future on YouTube. Okay, next contestant. So here up we have Fred. All right, so Fred started posting consistently on YouTube over the last 2-3 months. His biggest challenge is getting a conversion from his landing page via YouTube. Haven't had any yet. I currently get all my leads through Instagram. Okay, so we're going to do the same thing again. So the first things first, Fred has diagnosed his problem. He's using my software to track. Basically, he's getting some views, but no one's clicking on his links. So that's good. We've got a nice problem to start with. First things first, let's go check out his offer. So, all right. I don't know if anyone watching this can pick up on the problem. I don't know what that means. Rehab that powers performance. Like it's like jargony, powers performance. Like, just keep it really simple. Do you remember how like black and how clear the last few ones were? Let's go back to who did a really good one. The publishing one was good, right? It was pretty simple. Oh no, this one's good. Build a raving fan base, turn your passion for music into a full-time income, and take control of your music career. Like, I know what I'm getting if I go down the page. With this one, I don't know what that means. So your offer's not clear. Then when we come down, just a few things. So although this is the common advice, I don't like putting join now here, because people just click it and they're like, where's the price? So what I found is when I put my join now button below a video, it was like turning a tap off for applications for my program. They just stopped. Put it back 2 days later and they started up again. Something to experiment with. Next thing, just don't center align text like this. So for someone like me, this is a flipping nightmare to read. Headlines can go in the center, but left align stuff, we read from left to right. These like weird lines. Everyone does this for some reason. Wrecks readability. So I'm scrolling down your page and I don't really know what it is. So that's our first problem. Now, viewers will come here with context from your channel. They'll be watching videos. And if you've done this right, they will have that context of the channel solves the problem of something. Hopefully the offer solves the same one. So they might land and go, okay, I know what this is about. But for me, I don't. So with the first blockage you've got, I've got no idea what your promise is. We got to fix that. The next one, link to offer description. Okay, so let's go to your channel. Where are we? Oh, you literally just posted a video. All right, let's jump in on that one. Click the link and I help you fix your injury. Oh, that's way simpler. I'll help you fix your injury. That's not the best headline for a sales page, but it's clearer than what you've got. So I'm coming to here with a bit of context. Now what's going to happen? Rehab that powers performance. If it just said, in the last 5 years, I've helped 100 people fix their injury, like even that would be better. Like, don't use that because it's not the best, but that doesn't mean anything. So that's good. I'm happy with that. We've got the link. Then we need to look at the alignment with the offer and the channel. All right, so what's your channel about? Let's find out. Okay, I'm looking here and I'm thinking stretching, chiropractor, stretching, massage, stretching. Okay, so it's something stretching related, recovery related. Let's have a look at your most popular. Foam rolling, so tight hips. So to me, this is a mobility channel. That's probably how I would put it. No more knee pain. Stretching won't fix. So it's fixing problems with. It doesn't scream injury to me. You say here injury and rehab, right? But the injury is the pain. So if your video was like how to fix a headache, that's the pain. You'll fix your one level lower deeper with like massage here. So if I was like, oh, I've got really bad lower back. Oh, you have done it. Back lower pain. if I was like, oh, I got a really bad back, I'm going on YouTube to find that is, the answer is massage. So that's problem versus solution aware. So you're targeting people who are already aware stretching and massage is the solution to their problem, which is okay. There's a lot of views there. But when I land on the channel, there's stuff, knee pain, there's mobility, there's stretching. It's a bit of a mix. So we could probably refine that a little bit more. And actually, because I'm not particularly sure what the offer does, it doesn't feel that in line with the offer either. So we've got this jam at the start. You need to get way more refined with your headline. You need to get way more refined with the problem that you want to go all in on the channel. And then we got your titles. Yeah, nice and short. Like you're not doing this thing where you just jam in tons of keywords. So not too much problem. Your thumbnails. Now, this is an interesting one. I want people to pay attention to. So although AI is great, that doesn't mean the audience wants it. So some audiences are rejecting it because what's happening is the faceless niches are flooding the platforms with faceless content that's been generated. It's not very good. So if they see this content of a searching for a problem and they're scrolling and it's all these AI looking thumbnails, the assumption is starting to become, this is an AI channel and I don't want to watch that because the quality is usually pretty bad. So I would be thinking about that because we want to use that split tester to work out if AI works for you or not. We might just want raw, basic, kind of boring thumbnails. So the next issue I have here, we'll move on to, is what I'm going to call audience expectation and first impression. So look, I'm just going to hit play on one of these videos without you saying a word. Okay, so this is audience expectation is one of the hardest things to crack. And what it means is when we present a video with a thumbnail and title, the viewer has some kind of rough idea as to what they think it's going to be about, but they're also probably guessing what might be inside. And if when we click in it, we completely just jar their expectations, they're going to stop watching. Or they'll troll you. I did that yesterday, a video out, and I titled it really badly. I got loads of hate. And looking back, I was like, oh yeah, I totally see why, because I wrecked my audience expectations. One sec, my laptop just needs charging. Oh no, what's going on? There we are. So look, let's pick another one. We've got this really kind of like sexy guy, muscles and a glowing knee, and then this really hyperly produced and amazing cinematic photo. And then we click on it with the expectation of, that's what I'm going to see. And then we've got the plain room. The production quality is not the same level. So it's not the worst, but I'm watching going, instantly thinking, wasn't expecting that. I was expecting more like this, shot in a gym. So same with this, right? These ones here are confusing as anything, like 4 images within. I click on it. I don't really know what I'm expecting when I see that because there's so much stuff. But then you're hitting me with this, a whiteboard. This is a video about stretching. I don't know if I wanted a diagram. So although whiteboard videos can work really well in some niches, in others, it's maybe not the right fit. Now, this is something we work out over time. But for me, we have an audience expectation and first impression problem with your channel. Now, I've got an intro here. We're going to load up, and then we'll do a bit of a feedback sesh on it. I'm going to play it now.
Doing those random stretches that you see on YouTube for your tight hamstrings isn't going to help you. In this video, I'm going to explain why stretching doesn't work and why it's only giving you short-term improvements to your hamstring mobility and flexibility, and what you can do instead that is about 100 times more effective that will actually give you long-lasting changes to your hamstring flexibility and reduce your injury risk and improve.
All right, it was like really quiet. And I think the audio was coming out of one speaker as well. So expectations kind of wrecked. Production quality wasn't as high. The whiteboard thing kind of threw me. So there's a bit of a jar there. Let's just have a look at what you actually said. Again, as a script. All right. So doing those random stretches that you see on YouTube for your tight hamstrings isn't going to help you. That works. It's like contrarian. In this video, I'm going to explain why stretching doesn't work and why it's only giving you short-term improvements to your hamstring mobility and flexibility, and what you can do instead is about 100 times more effective that will actually give long-lasting changes to your hamstring flexibility. It's like wordy. Like, that's a long old sentence. Like, just cut that down at half. Speed of like text, it's fine. The setup's there. You're saying I'm going to deliver this value. I still think we could move a bit quicker. But I think what I would call out on yours is going to be this first impression, and up here, channel alignment. And then in terms of credibility, we need something in that intro, like the publishing 4,000 books thing. So anything, let's have a look on your sales page. I think we can raid. We've got lots of are these testimonials? Ah, they're Instagram posts. Okay. Something. How many people have you helped? Like, what's the big accolade? What's an amazing thing, the best result you've ever got that ties into this? We got to drop it in that sentence. So although we need to get your views up a lot, because so you do have a views problem, you also have an offer problem too. So keep going. I'm giving you a lot of information there. Okay. We're going to move through this one a little bit quicker because what I want to show you is, this is Zaurbek. Apologies if I'm saying the wrong name. Coding channel. Very niche. So I really like working with niche channels. So this is specifically targeting people who want to build a halal business using AI. So we've got a very clear avatar there. Sorry, I'm going to have some water before I start coughing away. And I quite like that. But the problem you've come to me with is getting more views from qualified leads on my videos. I've attracted a lot of people who are students or in the third world, so they can't get into the coaching program. And this is common. YouTube's huge all over the world, third world countries. You know, they learn loads of skills there. they can then provide services and so on, but obviously the exchange rates don't work out. So the very nature of your channel is going to attract them, because you're specifically targeting halal, right? So I don't know if there's a huge amount we can do about that. But I think, you know, don't worry if they can't afford it. They can watch all of your wonderful free content. That's just the way the world works, sadly. But one thing I wanted to point out, this, you sent me your RevTrack data. You made 2 sales. So you made $5,000 from 671 views. That's all right. And I was like, oh, I got to share this. So this is one of your latest videos, you know, it's technically a flop. It's landed you 5K. And I just wanted to point out, so for those of you guys who have businesses and an offer and clients, you'll often see some of the larger channels do these interviews and they get rubbish views. This is why. If you can get a client to agree to an interview, do a case study on them, they're amazing for getting people over the line. So if you go back to earlier in that little chart where I was showing you how do we convert more peeps, I've lost it now, the one with the cold audience on. This is the sort of thing that is going to help warm people up, help warm more curious people up. So that's amazing. Nice work there. The other thing, if you are attracting leads from basically an avatar you can't work with, the best thing to do is to go into your YouTube studio, video by video, and look, did one of these videos bring in the wrong age group? Which one brought in the right age group? Which one's bringing in the wrong country? Which one's bringing in the right country? And you sometimes see a pattern that there are certain videos that will bring in younger and older. So I'm very protective on this of my channel. I'm trying to keep it at an age range that is perfect for my offer. So I do look at this quite a lot. It's one of the most important metrics for me. Otherwise, I don't think you can do much. All right, let's just run into your funnel quickly. So offer, clear promise and result. Let's find out what's going on. Where's your thingy? Here it is. What's going on? Ah, here we are. Make an extra 3 to 10K per month starting a halal AI agency in 90 days using our proven strategy, or it's free. Someone, you must have done Charlie Morgan's course or something. That's a very, the sort of thing I see for agency headlines all the time. It's good, right? So it's like very clear offer. I help people make 3 to K a month starting an halal AI agency in 90 days, or it's free. So that is the thing we kind of want the channel to reflect, so that everything gets easier for sales. So you clearly know your internet marketing talk there. I'm not going to bother with that. That's not a problem. That's good. You link to your offer. Well, this is your case study that made you a ton of money. So yeah, I can see it's there. And you've got the same thing. Look at this. Congruency. Everything's the same. Make an extra 3 to take in a month. They know exactly why they're coming in. Make an extra 3 to 10K a month. This video is probably about how this guy made between 3 and 10K a month. So we've got the perfect system where everything's exactly the same. So that's great. Channel alignment with offer. Starting an AI agency. No, what's this? How LinkedIn destroyed the job market. Don't make that. Hang on. Did that make you any money before I... If your RevTrack data is telling you it was good and it worked for conversions or emails, fine. But to me, in terms of a YouTube point of view, like that deserves to be on your channel. Just keep it AI agency, making money of AI agency, making money. Beginner's guide to 100K AI dev. Okay, that one's got you views, but are you teaching them to be an AI dev? I don't know. So keep an eye on, again, on your sales data from that video. You could be bringing in the wrong audience. AI devs, you're going to get a lot of people from the developing countries after that, because this is how they make their money now, right? It's freelance work that they can do remotely, and AI dev and development in general attracts a lot of them. So the best allow business to start is a bit broad. That's okay on the channel, but we're now how developers can use this AI. So now you're talking to devs, quitting my software engineer. Like, what's going on? It's suddenly starting to fall apart. Look at the video that made you 5K with 600 views. It's literally the same as your offer. So stop making these videos, office tours. I know they get views, but they do not grow businesses. I see it all the time. So your channel strategy and your alignment is a little off. And I think your channel strategy needs some work. I'd make it more targeted. Even if your views drop a little bit, don't worry. Then we've got your titles. They're pretty good. Nothing crazy long. Generally, titles these days just seem to be getting a lot better. Thumbnails. Okay, so what's made you money or clicks? Starting an AI agency is now, hang on a second, let's have a look at this. How to turn coding into one-person business. 120K AI dev. Okay, look, the 120K AI dev one, which I said was the wrong audience, got you 100,000 views, but only 11 clicks, or you might have only just installed this, so I won't judge that too heavily. So thumbnails, they're okay. Sometimes they're a bit busy, and they're a bit over-designed, as I call them. We've got all these glow effects, like this is the Iman Gadzi era from 18 months ago. Things are moving on. Try some simpler, try some split tests, but I don't think they're your biggest bottleneck. First impressions. All right, let's just click and see. All right. Set looks nice. Little dark. I'd turn up the light on your face. Don't zoom. We don't need all this movement. Like, edit less. There's a video coming out next week about how little you should edit now. But just try some edits that are much simpler. No flash transitions. Everything's static. Use B-roll. That's fine. But there's no first impression problem there. I haven't got the video in. I'm going to skip the intro because I want to move on to some other ones. And credibility, it looks like you got results from your from this. So I'd highly recommend you're always dropping. I'm going to show you how to get this result. And I've helped hundreds of people do it too. Look at all the results on screen right now. Like, watch every video I make. That's all I ever do. Is just like, show results, show results, show results. And then it helps. All right, we're going to do one more because I'm running out of steam. So this is Danny. Danny has the problem of getting views on my videos for this new channel. All right, let's check it out. All right. So we're going to do the same thing. Let's start at the offer, which I've been doing my homework, so I've already done. But let's go and have a look here. Okay, Danny clearly knows a bit about marketing. Add leverage, scale, increase profits, and get your time back with a simple and cost-effective virtual assistant system. So we've got a nice, here's the result you're going to get. It's a little bit wordy. Like to me, leverage, you are targeting a more experienced business owner with that. Like I've just started saying that now. Like, what's going to give you the most leverage? I wasn't saying that 2 years ago. So that's okay if you're after that sort of person. Scale, again, that's another word I might use, but if you're after a beginner, we don't want to be using that. The more beginner, the simpler. So just make more money in less time with a simple, cost-effective virtual assistant. So I don't know what your avatar is, but just keep that in mind. So we've got our nice thing to build everything around. So now we look at the channel. All right, this is an interesting one. So we're selling virtual assistants so people can scale. What's your channel doing? You're wasting your most productive hours and you don't even know it. The real job of a sales call is not what you think. Hopefully the viewers can see the issue here. How to hire a virtual assistant. Okay, if we go back to our blob chart, which I spent hours designing, the problem the channel solves is about 5 different things right now. The problem that offer solves is scaling with virtual assistants. So we've got our case study, how they went to X amount with virtual assistant. That's good. Expert reveals how to use virtual assistants. The only 3 things you need to make money while you sleep. So what you're doing is, right, you're kind of thinking in the right way of, I'm going to target the problem my viewers have, time, making money in their sleep, productivity. But when you do this, you're going up against the Hormozis. You're going up against like the Rian Doris productivity experts. The competition's insane. We don't want to compete against them. So for me, if you've got an offer that's already working, and it looks like you've put time and effort into the sales page, let's just own the small space and get the most targeted traffic we can. Get better at making videos, get better at thumbnails, presenting, and all the things that are super hard, and then start going a bit broader. So you can try a bit broader every now and then, but really, we shouldn't be going too wide out of your offer because you're not teaching people how to grow a business so fast. You're teaching them how to, actually what you're doing is you're helping them build a team and systematize their business. So if this title was like how to build systems so your business runs without you, that's a little bit more in line and it's slightly less broad. So that's something I'd be considering. But otherwise, the link, this is always, hopefully everyone's putting the links below their videos these days. Okay, we've got this ultimate hiring guide. So that's in line, I think, with your offer for your lead magnet. Add leverage, scale, increase profit. Okay, so all these words, like, there's your offer, but let's just run it back. Leverage, scale. That is big business words. So is the content in line with that? I'd maybe think about the language you're using and what level the clients are that come to you. I could be wrong there. You'll have a better idea than me. So the channel strategy, I want to rein it in a little bit. Don't go quite as broad as business. Like when I talk about business problems on the channel, the video ain't getting any views. Like I can't compete with the big guys. I can get views talking about building systems on YouTube though. Titles, that's not you. Bit long every now and then. Oh, an emoji. We don't need hieroglyphs. Like, look at what the emoji does. It's taking my eyes away and burning them. We don't want emojis in our thumbnails and we don't want them in our titles. Some niches do it. The cleaning niche gets away with it, but in the business niche, get that rocket out. It's just wasting space. What else have you got going on here? A random little eye. That kind of works in a weird way. This I don't like. We get a bit too long. Just keep in mind, like things get cut off on YouTube after a certain point. It's like 50 characters or something. So just try and keep them a bit under. So the titles are getting there. Thumbnails, yeah, we got to sort these out. So although we've got this simplicity thing I've been talking about, it looks like it's been made on Paint, like Microsoft Paint 20 years ago. Like we've got how, small font, pros, big font, sell, small font. Like, why do we have so many fonts and fonts? Are they the same font? So what I would do is simplify it. Remove these glows as well. Like, we don't need glow around a text. White on black is the highest point of contrast. We start to whack a bit of green glow on it. We're removing that contrast. It's making this harder to read. So if it just said one higher away on a bit of black, that's kind of better. So get rid of all these glows, get rid of this clutter. We've got too many, like, our eyes need to be pulled towards something. I'm getting pulled all over the shop here. Keep them simple, which sometimes you're doing, but like less is more. And we need to try different styles. So people love getting attached to a brand image, but you have to earn that. You don't just land on it. I never ever, on my old channel film booth, 370,000 subscribers, I never landed on a style that was just easy to repeat. I have now, which is lucky, but we don't want to repeat stuff that doesn't work. So you need to be testing different thumbnail styles until you start to get that bit of traction, and then you tweak everything to it. So we're getting there with a bit of experimentation, but they're a bit busy. So your thumbnails need work. All right, let's have a quick look at your first impression. Yeah. Nothing put me off. It's a bit overexposed in the corner here. So any production nerd's going to be like having an existential crisis because you didn't expose your camera properly. That doesn't bother me. The building looks kind of interesting with the bricks. I did start to look around and go, what's that? What's that on the table? What have they left there? And then realized it was an air freshener. So people will look around. I started to wonder, is that a barbecue? So little things like this distract people. They notice everything. So if you could just remove a few things from the shot or just crop him, we won't see the air freshener. And then the intro, I didn't download this. Hang on, I'm going to give you a quick.
Drowning in emails and voicemails and scheduling requests and all kinds of other administrative work.
All right, you're good on camera. That's the first thing. You got a great energy. You come across as professional, credible. You talk at a nice pace. Good job. So the first impressions there are good. And then let's just do a quick hack on the old... All right, what's your intro? Are you an entrepreneur or business owner who's drowning in emails and voicemails and scheduling requests and all kinds of other administrative work? So you're calling out your avatar there. It's kind of what they do in ads. Look, I was exactly where you are 6 years ago. I had multiple businesses that I was running, and I was juggling all of the admin tasks when all I really wanted to do was doing the business growth activities. Okay, so if we look at an intro, this is definitely in line with the offer. This is the problem your offer solves. So it's calling out the right avatar who will land on your page and eventually convert. Partnership, relationship, negotiating big deals, handling all the stuff. Okay, and that's when I accidentally discovered hiring a virtual assistant. Completely changed. Okay, what's going on here a sec? So we're 31 seconds in. The title is "You're wasting your most productive hours and you don't even know it." I'm not quite sure what's going on with the video. I've been promised you're wasting your most productive hours. So I would shorten this down a ton to, if you're spending more than 5 hours a day doing X or 1 hour a day sending emails, you're potentially costing your business millions. Those are the guys you're after, right? Because you're talking about scaling and so on. 6 years ago, I realized this when I was running multiple businesses, and I was sending more emails than making more than money that was coming in, until I discovered something that changed my life. So in this video, I'm going to show you how I took my X, Y, and Z. So here's your credibility. 6 years later, my team and I have helped over 3,500 entrepreneurs hire virtual assistants, scale their business, increase their profit, and get the time. That's good. We just want to get in quicker. So just look at the title. You're wasting your most productive hours. I think if you told them if you're spending more than an hour a day on email, you're costing your business millions, most people are going to go, I'm spending way more than that. I'm spending like 3 hours on it. That's like 3 million. So get in faster. And then I like this. This is really good. Like tons of credibility, 6 years, tons of entrepreneurs. That's what we want to be dropping in. So really, your main problem is you do have a views problem. The other offer seems like it's probably been working. I can see you've got experience. So you've probably driven traffic to that from other places and got results. Your main bottleneck is kind of your thumbnails. And a bit of your strategy and just trying to stay in your lane. You'll find something that clicks, and when you do, just keep doing it, basically. Whew. All right. Put me back on stage. Right. All right, everyone. Thank you very much. Hope this was useful. I'm going to keep doing a few more. I challenged myself to do a few of these a month. So if you want to submit, there's not actually a link below the video. I'll put one if you're watching them live. We're going to be opening spaces my program on the 26th-ish. Feel free to join the waitlist if you want me to do this all day, every day with you. And if you want to track some sales with your software, I've got that too. This is an awful call to action. I need to get better at these. All right, everyone. Thank you very much. Have a great day.